life can change in an instant. I mean, we all know that. Think about when we were going out of school back in 2020. I was preparing my staff for just to be gone for maybe 2 weeks. And that's what we were all thinking. And then look what happened. But we know that these big events can cause changes that just linger on. And it doesn't have to be, a big worldwide event. It can be something very personal, like the death of a loved one or a family member going to prison. It could be that we have our own illness, or it could be something bigger like wildfires in our area, or an event like 2001 when the towers came down, or, as we all know, a world pandemic. So let's think first about Choluteca Bridge in Honduras. This bridge was built in 1936, and when it was first built, it was the modern marvel of engineering. In fact, it actually was for decades, and it did exactly what it was supposed to. It got people from one side to the other side so that we could get across this river. But then, unfortunately, in 1998, there was a hurricane. And that hurricane caused the river to shift positions. The bridge actually is still standing to this day. It just doesn't go anywhere. And that's an event beyond our control. Obviously, they never planned for that to happen. But, that's what happens in life. Sometimes we have events beyond our control. So why does all of this matter? Because as we know, we can see this in our students. When we have traumatic events, and we all have different types of traumatic events in our lives, this affects our performance negatively, it increases our response time, and it just generally escalates distrust. I'm sure a lot of you have used the little hand model of the brain before, where you take a sign language B and then you fold those fingers down over top. This here represents the prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of the brain. It's where all of those higher functions are occurring. But then inside we have that precious survival brain, the amygdala, our reacting brain, that when it gets triggered by an event, that is where we go to. And so when the prefrontal cortex isn't doing its job of those higher functioning thinking skills, logic, executive functions, etc., it means that when we're here, deep learning actually cannot happen. I love this quote. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Connections matter more now than they ever have. Think about it of your favorite superhero movies, right? Real heroes know their strengths and their weaknesses, and then they come together as a collective to solve those really wicked problems of the world. We are preparing our students to be able to conquer the problems of tomorrow, to be those critical thinkers, and to be those amazing humans and even superheroes that we are going to need tomorrow. So let's think about it like this. What community are we really trying to build in our classrooms? Is it antisocial? Or is it prosocial? Well, when we first hear that, we immediately kind of go, antisocial? No, but let's really investigate it a little bit more. Antisocial is where we are thinking of ourselves above all others. In fact, that is even coming at the detriment or the harm of those around us. It can come out in threats or bullying. It can come out in a lot of just really negative ways. And what we're doing, and when we're in this antisocial moment, what's happening is it's actually triggering those around us into that amygdala. So we're no longer in that prefrontal cortex. They're reacting to us, causing anxiety, stress, cortisol is rising, and we're creating a bad situation, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. When we are pro-social, we're thinking about more of the collective whole. We're helping one another. We're sharing. We're expressing concern and caring about others. We're being helpful to others. And that is now allowing us to get back into that thinking brain. We are now promoting the release of oxytocin, that stress buster in our bodies that's really allowing us to calm down, get back into our thinking zone, and allow us to build trust and work on problems together. But this is backed up by research. Students who behave prosocially are just generally liked better, which is probably kind of obvious, but they also have healthier friendships, and both of those things are leading to higher grades and higher test scores. Those students who are prosocial also are relating better to their teachers, to you, so that's also a strong predictor of good grades, test scores, motivation, and just general emotional well-being. So as we think about our new spaces, what are we really trying to create? Are we trying to create antisocial moments? Obviously not. We're really creating that prosocial learning environment.